Welcome back, everyone, to GameStuffed. And now, I believe we just got done talking about our number 2, I believe.
Yeah. And so we're going to go to our...
I'm going to call this segment Buried in the Closet. These are going to be games that they might not necessarily be good or bad. They're just going to be very uncommon games that, I don't know, I think we should get them out there more and let people know about them. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of them, I mean, we'll probably find fun or, we'll probably like them in some way enough to where we think that they need to be talked about.
Well, hopefully that's the case. Today, we're going to jump into an Xbox game. Original, that is. It's a game called Death Row, or however you want to pronounce it. It's all one word. But it's not a game about prison or anything. It's a sports game.
Not the words that most, I guess, gamers or so-called gamers or whatever, would associate with, but
Right.
that's what it is.
And I know I've said this probably already 2 times today, but yet another genre that I do not do well. I mean, the closest thing I got to playing sports game was wrestling games.
Yeah, pretty much same here.
Or Mario spin-offs. Them are sometimes fun, too.
They are. Yeah, they are.
But Death Row, it's not your typical sports game.
Yeah, it's not.
It's kind of in the fashion of the Mutant League series that were on Sega Genesis. There was like Mutant League football and Mutant League hockey. It's kind of in that fashion, except along with it being kind of a made-up sport.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, the game is a mix between fighting and soccer and basketball, kind of. Anyways, this takes place in like the year 2044 or something like that. I don't remember, but it's something like that. And the ball is not a ball. It's a floating ring frisbee type thing.
Yeah.
And the courts are laid out simple. Like football, your team's trying to go to one end, the other team's trying to go to the other. At each end of the court, there's like these little field goal / circle hoops things that when you throw the ring through them, you get a point.
Mm-hmm.
What makes the game kind of interesting is, well, I guess it would have to be the fighting, because you can actually KO the entire other team and you win by default.
2 ways to win.
Right.
legitimately and kind of not.
Right. This came out back in 2002, so it's been over 10 years, I guess. Wow.
It it has.
It was made by a company called Southern Interactive, and Ubisoft published it. Everyone knows Ubisoft. One of the interesting things, though, is that this was South End's Interactive's first full release game,
Hmm.
which, all considering, I mean, it has its flaws, but overall, it feels pretty well made for what it is.
Yeah, it does to me. I mean, for being as old as it is, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't really seem that old, but yeah. It
Unfortunately, a big key thing to sports games would have to be multiplayer, I would assume, would be what people play sports games for.
mhm.
And this, it only supports local, sadly.
Yeah,
But,
that's true. It
but,
I
but, with the
okay.
system link, you can actually play up to 8 players.
Yeah. I wanted to say one thing.
Okay.
Uh they did right by releasing it on the Xbox. Because I mean at the time, the PS2 had two ports for controllers. I mean you could buy add-ons to get more, but
Yeah,
they did right by releasing it on the Xbox that already supported four players.
right.
So,
I'm not really sure on the story if like I don't even know if they was even thinking about releasing it on the PS2 or not.
no, I read somewhere that they were originally going to release it on the PC,
Ah,
and then they ended up doing it on the Xbox. But I don't think they were going to do it on any other console.
right. But yeah. The game didn't like have a typical like football season or something like that. It was okay, Mortal Kombat. When you played through the arcade, you would work your way up the ranks to each fighter
Hmm.
and fight them. So this is kind of set up like that. You would start at the bottom. There would be 3 teams above you that you had to work your way up. Oh, another perfect example would be Punch Out as well, because in that you worked your way up to the title, then you moved on to the next circuit.
Hmm.
So in um, this had different like circuits or tiers, you could say,
Hmm.
and well, you would work your way up, and once you get number one, you can choose to go on to the next tier or re-challenge some of the teams to make a little bit extra credit. This game also did provide some RPG elements. Not really much, but some. You had the option to train your team a couple times, like
Yeah.
around up to 3 times, and then it would
Yeah.
max out and you couldn't train them anymore, so it was very limited.
Hmm. You didn't choose like how you trained them.
Right,
It's just like one standard training.
yeah, it had it presets like you can go to where and press the button to train them, but in the stats it shows what it will up, and it's not like you can choose a specific stat you want them to get better in.
Hmm.
But the teams, much like with the Mutant League series, the teams are they look very different. They are very unique to each team.
They really are. They they not only look different, they have unique names and characteristics.
Right. Each team even has like a little small segment backstory type thing of why they're in the competition. Along with teams, another nice addition that they did with this game is each arena is unique.
That's true.
There's never an arena that is similar they're similar but they're never exactly the same.
And that's with like both the size and like what's in the play area.
Right, yeah.
So not only will it just be a flat like court or whatever, but you may be able to go up to like a second level or have kind of tunnels in the level or whatever.
Right. Now I mentioned earlier that a way to win is to KO people, but there's a way to prevent yourself from losing like that. There's these little upgrades that appear around the arena or course or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of them are health upgrades to help you get your life back,
Hmm.
along with some perks
Yeah.
that last for like, I don't know, 30 seconds. Like, one of them ups your momentum, some of them up speed, and
Hmm.
just stuff like that.
Hmm.
Now, when we played this, we played the game on easy. However, it was easy, but I mean, as you progress through, it doesn't feel like it stays at the same difficulty. You feel your opponents getting stronger and harder to beat as you progress, even on easy,
Yes.
which that is a very good thing.
It is.
Because I think some of the reason why games like Madden, if you know how to play on that specific difficulty real well, you can beat any team,
Yeah.
pretty much. This, the teams, it really feels like they are getting stronger.
And I find that interesting because we only played on easy, and there is a medium and hard difficulty, and then you can unlock an extremely hard,
Yeah,
or ultimate hard, or whatever.
yeah.
I can only imagine what that would be like
Hmm.
because easy got pretty hard near the end.
Yeah.
You couldn't KO them. I mean,
We didn't really lose any matches, but I mean, it gave us a bit of work to win, though.
it did.
Another Another interesting feature this game brought, I'm not sure how many games did this, but they decided to use the Xbox music transfer to the game and have it playing in the background instead of the game music.
I think that's an awesome feature.
Nowadays, you can just plug in your iPod and have a way at it, but for the time, it was a nice feature.
Yeah, when everyone used CDs.
Right. Let's see.
But
What?
I mean, it added more to the game because you could have your own customized soundtrack, whatever got you like pumped or whatever,
Right.
and it works really well in this game. Like I know some games that have like that music feature just kind of it feels tacked on, I guess,
Yeah.
but they really do use the music really well. Like there's cheering over top of the music and I mean, it doesn't just sound like it's just music playing.
Yeah. So I guess you're kind of saying like
They
it's you can still it still feels like you're playing with all the sounds happening and stuff, and it's like the music is in game.
yeah, it they keep like the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah. The game also does have the game has two ways you can play as far as the way you look at it, the way the camera is. They have the typical like Madden pulled back view, and you can see everyone on the field, which they call the sports view, and they have action view, which you are right behind the person you're playing as in a third person view type thing.
Hmm.
Now, here's where I'm gonna dig into to where what I find why I like this game and why I like it even though it's a sports game. I think the third person view does a lot. It Let's see if I can explain this right. It doesn't make you feel like you're playing a whole team. It makes you feel like you're playing as this individual person and you have a bunch of computers around you that you're not controlling. So it brings a more
I'd say
single player type. It puts
yeah, I'd say it's like
it.
more personal.
Yeah, that's the word. It puts you in a more straight up position, as in you control this specific character. This is your character.
And I'd have to say I think the AI in this game is done very well. I think all the computers and everything,
Yeah,
they play like people.
right.
Um, some of them are like more aggressive than others, and some of them are um, try to dodge more or try to go for the goal more.
Yeah, and
Uh,
remember that we're talking from playing it on easy, so
hmm. Like I said, I can only imagine what it's like on the ultimate difficulty.
right.
Um, I really like the animations, I guess, of it. Like everything seems pretty fluid, even with like attacking and everything.
Yeah.
It all looks nice.
However, one thing this could be due for it being a 10-year-old game and maybe but the turning in the game is kind of I guess you would
Yeah.
say tank kind of control,
Hmm.
and that kind of hurts a little bit, but
It's definitely not unplayable.
right.
It it takes a minute to get used to.
Mhm. Right.
Um, and I don't know if you really get fully used to it because every once in a while it'll still throw you off a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not unplayable.
Now, combat is a bit limited as you have your basic punch and kicks. Um, you have a grab button if you're boosting or running, and you press. You can either tackle or do a slide kick.
Hmm. You can also evade, can't you?
Yeah,
You kind of roll out of the way
right, and that helps a lot when trying to run to your goal.
to uh, catch up to people. It really helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, the controls. So with the left thumbstick, you move forward and backward, but it
Yeah.
also turns you. So you can't you can stand still and just turn in a circle.
Yeah.
You can't really go diagonal. It's hard to strafe.
Yeah.
Um, can't you do that with the? Okay, well, with the right thumbstick, it moves your camera, and it moves it the opposite way. It's kind of like inverted.
Yeah.
So when you move the thumbstick right, your camera moves left, and I guess that's supposed to be for strafing and stuff, but it doesn't work. You can't strafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's forward, backward, turn, which that's why it's so difficult to control, I guess.
Right.
It if it got if the controls were better or upgraded, it would be fantastic.
Yeah. Out of all the other than let's see. Oh right, now I remember the name of the single player mode, Conquest. But yeah, other than facing the ranked teams, you'll also get invitations to face they're these like bonus teams
Mm.
and like a training type thing. I don't know. Um, However, it's nice that the teams are there, but I think the bonus teams, I think they're just for copies of the same person on the team.
Hmm.
I think.
Hmm.
Because if I remember right, they all look really similar.
Yeah, that seems right. And they're really, I don't know, they seem to be like just star players or whatever. Star players are like the best players you can have on a team.
Yeah.
They have like the most health and the highest attributes.
Oh, one of the reasons that also keeps you playing through all Conquest is the people you unlock. You start with these four standard players, which they all look unique, which is awesome. But as you unlock, you actually do get cooler looking teammates that come on your team.
That are stronger and faster and more worthwhile to have on your team as well.
Yeah. Then we get to how everything is unlocked. You don't unlock teams by beating them. You don't unlock anything unless well, basically playing the game earns you credits to your profile, I guess. So
Yeah.
depending on probably what difficulty you play on and stuff and how many matches you play, you get credits and what you use towards the extras to unlock all the teams, concept art, and the highest difficulty.
Hmm.
Which I don't really like that system, but I can see why they did it like that.
Hmm.
They did it so there would be replay value to the game.
Yeah, I noticed when we got done, we beat it on the easy difficulty, and we had a bunch of credits.
Them are in-game credits, not really profile credits.
Yeah, but the profile credits we didn't seem to get as much. I don't know. When we looked at like how much it would be to unlock, because you can unlock like a game mode that has like 2 discs,
Right, yeah.
and we were looking at that, but we didn't have near enough to get it.
Yeah.
After playing through the game once on easy, we didn't have enough.
Like I said, they probably did it because they thought it would bring replay value so people would play it over and over to get credits to unlock the teams that they want and such.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, character wise, each team had unique looks and stuff, though there wasn't that many unique combat skills.
Yeah, that's true.
This game did have a plan. They did plan to do a sequel, but because it's buried in the closet, it did not sell very well. So that got kind of turned away by Ubisoft.
Yeah, they saw that it wasn't selling very well, and they just after that they didn't really want to invest any more into it, so it just kind of died.
And it really pains me because with just a little bit of improvement in this,
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's even so much better, and I already think it's awesome.
yeah,
I I think if it had online play,
that was one of the things, yeah.
uh, to me, I think what it needs is if it had better controls, online play, and I think different game modes would be cool.
Yeah, all of that could have been improved with the sequel.
Which brings me to another point. I wanted to bring up this. I love. I think the funnest thing I had doing in it was when we got higher up in the tier or whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, you get like messages from uh, people who like companies that want to sponsor you, and you get more credits and stuff like that.
right?
Well, we got a message that was like, "Do you want to bet on something?"
Oh, yeah.
And you could bet like a certain amount of credits, and you'd have to do something. So the one that we did was you had to win by exactly 2 points. You had to be 2 points ahead of the other team and win,
Yeah,
which at the time sounded pretty difficult. But that was like the max bet. That was the one that got the most payout.
yeah,
And I remember it was really fun to work towards that goal. Not only were you wanting to win and trying not to like get beaten,
yeah,
but you were trying to win in such a specific manner.
right.
And I think the more of that would be really fun with say online people and you know,
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I really like this game, and I think people really need to check it out.
it is a sure pickup if you don't have it. I mean,
It's it's $10. I mean, and it's backwards compatible for the Xbox 360, so
even better. For like a good party game, if you have a like, four or three or four people there, it's a blast. It really is. You just pump up some music and
and
it's
and the game doesn't. Okay, another probably problem I have with sports games, other than it being repetitive matches, like they all feel the same, kind of, but the seasons are really, really long. Like, each game could take probably 30 minutes or something,
yeah, that's true.
depending.
Mhm.
Um, However, this, I mean, you can set a time limit, but it feels like matches go by relatively quick.
Mhm. Especially once you get a strategy down
So, we beat the game in 5 hours and something.
on easy
Yeah,
still.
yeah. Now, some people might say, well, that's not a lot of content you're giving the person, but I mean, again, if it lasted a really long time, I think it would overstay its welcome.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like I said, it's a fun party game.
But I mean, maybe they could go a bit longer. I think they could seriously add some kind of background story to this to make it a unique feel and give maybe this team, maybe give the team you're playing and have some type of, I don't know, bizarre story of why they need to win or something.
Hmm.
I don't know that it's just use your imagination and you could probably come up with something pretty creative to even give the game a great single player experience probably if they could make a sequel.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know like how much the game as it is. I don't know how much I would want to play through it on single player.
Right.
Me personally, I don't think I would hold my attention as much.
Well, yeah.
And
Me,
and
me, me neither.
so it, if it had upgraded story, I think that'd be awesome. You know, maybe like a some funny elements, some just more in-depth elements.
Right. But again, looking at it as a sports game, it's not really meant to probably play alone, but
I don't know, I just think it has so much potential, like the world that it's set in and stuff,
yeah.
to where it wouldn't feel like a sports game. And
Yeah.
I don't think it really does.
Well, like I said, I think it has a lot to do with that third person view of maybe even you could even do a story campaign about you create a person and get put on this random team that you gotta work your way through, and something happens, and maybe the team turns on you, and you gotta start up your own team of rookies to try to fight through the ranks to get revenge on this team that hurt you.
That's true.
And that just came in my head within 30 seconds, so.
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. And I don't know, it's such a um underspoken game. I mean, it deserves more than what it got.
Yeah. Seriously, if you go on YouTube, you will not find one real, actual review of this game.
Hmm.
And I've only found one Let's Play. It's just not out there, and it really needs to be.
It's
This,
so fun and such a good experience. I don't. It deserves more.
really, I think people need to make a petition for this game. I mean, there is a cult following for it, and people do want a sequel, but there's just not enough people, and, well, just give the game a chance. And I think that about covers most of my end.
Yeah, and I think that covers mine too. I said,
Oh,
just my opinions.
and
And
looking at it from the point of view, how did it last for being 11 years old now? And I can safely say it was enjoyable to play even 11 years later.
hmm I it holds up to me still. You know, the controls are a little outdated, and I mean, it doesn't look the look of it. It's not HD,
Right.
but you know, it's
Gra- graphics wise, I think it looked, well, good. I mean, it's pleasant to look at.
yeah, it is. I mean, what was it at? Like it's a 480 or something like that.
Yeah, 480p.
So I mean, it was a higher quality than some of the other games out there.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it holds up. I mean, just even the playing the game itself, you know, the how fun it is, it just holds up.
Yeah, I
Uh,
believe that concludes this segment.
mhm. I'd say go pick it up if you find it, want to try it out. It's well worth it. So, well, that brings us to our final number one personal PS2 moment.
Right.
And so, would you like to go first?
Eh, it doesn't matter.
Well, I'll let you lead the way.
Alright, this is probably my only personal moment actually game related. Prob Or actually in game. Now, God of War, it it really was a beautiful game.
Mhm.
But that was not the game that really it did wow me, but another game wowed me in the same area, and it came out about 6 months earlier. That would be Prince of Persia: The Warrior Within.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, when starting out the game, after the well, after the whole tutorial part and such, you're on a beach, and as you continue away, you eventually come to this humongous temple like place. I mean, it's big. Now, the whole Prince of Persia Warrior Within game takes place inside this huge building. And it just kind of gave me a big wow factor at just that I'm going to be going to through this big place throughout this entire like 8 to 10 hour game or whatever. And I
Hmm.
mean, you also go through time and see the different present and past look of it, but I mean, just the fact it's just like, now this is a Legend of Zelda temple.
This is the temple that a game deserves.
Now, again, this was like years ago, so my mind might be playing tricks on me and it might not be as big as I'm making it out to be, but like I said, this is my personal memory, so. And in my memory, it's like this humongous place. And that is my final memory for this episode.
Nice. Well, mine doesn't have to deal with a game. I mean, I was playing a game at the time, but I don't remember which one it was.
Well, this will be good then.
I remember we were playing, it was me and my dad. We were in the living room. We had the PS2 on our entertainment stand,
Right?
and I don't remember what we were playing, but we were really into it. We had been playing for a couple hours. I mean, well, more than a couple hours. We were playing for a while. It was a first generation PS2. I don't remember if they had any problems with fans or not in the first generation ones.
Yeah.
I know the fat ones would die more often. But I remember we were playing it, and we noticed some smoke coming from our entertainment stand, and this is a true story. I mean, we opened it up, and there was flames out the back of our PS2. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but our PS2 actually caught fire. And I remember my dad grabbed it and threw it out the front door. But I don't know. I have such bad luck with consoles, I guess. But like my PS2 seriously caught fire. I mean, I don't know how much of a top moment that is because I was pretty into that game, whatever it was. But the fact that my console actually fried itself, I mean, it caught fire.
Right.
And to this day, I wish I got pictures because it was burnt. Like, I mean, it was melted plastic everywhere. But yeah, I can't believe that happened. I know eventually I got a slim version,
Yeah.
but yeah, I can't believe that our first PS2 just caught fire.
I, I think my original PS2 lasted 5 or 6 years before I had to get a Slim.
Hmm.
It just stopped reading disc like normally, though.
Yeah, I know. Most people had a lot of problems with original Xboxes,
Yeah.
but my original Xbox, we got it when it first came out, and it lasted forever. So I don't know what it was about this PS2, but that's my number one memory.
Wow.
I know it's quite the memory.
Was not quite expecting that. Oh my gosh. Well, this was a long.
It was, but you know, me and you, I mean, we're passionate about games. It's it's our lives, you know. We may not play as many games as other people. We may not, you know, own as many games as other people, but I mean, it's our passion.
To talk about them.
Well, to know about them, to
Right.
you know, I love learning about games and stuff and playing them when I get the opportunity, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, you know, everyone who stuck with it, you know, stuck with our podcast and listened to it. I hope you all had a good time listening to it, and
Yeah. I hope they continue to listen next month as well.
yeah, you know, stay tuned and we'll have more top moments and we'll have more you
More
know,
stuff that hopefully we can inform you with that you might not know.
yeah, some more games you might not have heard of that you'll maybe want to check out, you know?
And who knows? I mean, but within the next month, we might even get creative and try out a new segment.
Yep.
Anything's possible.
And you know, you guys can uh, always suggest, you know, if you have something what you want us to talk about or a subject to bring up, I mean, suggest it, you know?
Right.
So,
And can't forget to do this, but um the awesome music you heard at the opening and we'll hear at the ending and maybe a few I don't know, but opening and ending. That was done by
Epic Game Music.
yeah.
Special thanks to him for letting us use his music. Um, that supports us a lot and encourage you to go check him out. He's
We'll,
got a YouTube channel.
we'll leave all links and stuff in the description of the podcast and our YouTube video because I do plan to try to make a YouTube version as well. If any of you are more interested in watching instead of just listening.
Hmm. And so with that, I think we'll see you next time.
Have a good one, everyone.